Hey folks, you may have seen a while back that YouTube announced it was experimenting with making dislike counts private to only the creator of the video. Now, if you're like me, you were surprised by that. I've always thought seeing the number of dislikes on a video helps us know as viewers if it's a good video or not, if it's a helpful tutorial or not, or if what a creator is saying in their video is generally agreed with or not. But unfortunately, research teams at YouTube have found there's this whole other use for disliking a video that I had never experienced as a creator, and you may not have either. Apparently, groups of viewers are targeting a video's dislike button to drive up the count, turning it into something like a game with a visible scoreboard. And it's usually just because they don't like the creator or what they stand for. That's a big problem when half of YouTube's mission is to give everyone a voice. So earlier in 2021, YouTube experimented with making the public dislike count private to see if it would help reduce these coordinated dislike attacks across the platform. And after analysis, they did see a reduction. So the update from YouTube is that the dislike button is staying, but the dislike counts will now be private. You can still dislike videos, and that action will be used to tune your own recommendations, but you won't be able to see the dislike count. Only the creator can find it on the back end if they want. Now, a few common questions we saw from the initial experiment. First, without a public dislike count, how can viewers tell if a video is worth watching? Again, I kind of had this question too, but it turns out that while viewers might use the dislike count to give them a sense of a video's worth, when the teams looked at the data across millions of viewers and videos in the experiment, they didn't see a noticeable difference in viewership, regardless of whether they could see the dislike count or not. In other words, it didn't really matter if a video had a lot of dislikes or not, they still watched. Next common question, if creators can still see the dislike count on the back end, how's that any different? They can see it if they look for it inside Studio Analytics under the Engagement tab. But overall, it's much less likely to cause stress and embarrassment if the count isn't visible to the public. And one more common question, is this because YouTube Rewind got lots of dislikes? No, although there are some teams internally who have learned the hard way what it feels like to get lots of dislikes. Now, this again is about protecting all creators and making sure they have a chance to succeed and feel safe in doing so. All right, so that's the update. I hope it doesn't cause too much frustration. Honestly, I think you're going to get used to it pretty quickly, and keep in mind other platforms don't even have a dislike button. So consider that. Thank you, and I hope you're well.
Shalom, Kahala Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakwadash. Double honors my teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect, who the house of David be born again in this generation. And shalom to the one-third Yasharallah, who today are known as the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who before losing their true heritage were known as, and still are, the true Hebrew Israelites of the Holy Bible. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about the video you just saw, about how YouTube is going to now hide the amount of dislikes a video gets. Now, before we get into that and talk about the real reason they're doing this, let's go and read this. This is 2 Thessalonians 2:8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Now, in that video, YouTube tried to explain away the reason that they're going to remove the amount of dislikes that can be seen. They're still going to have the dislike button there, but you can no longer see the amount of dislikes, is because they said that it's not really being used as a dislike button anymore, and that it really doesn't matter, and that even though they're taking away an option or a way for the audience to voice their opinion, they're ultimately about helping people express themselves. You see the double talk that these devils are coming out with? You see, because the real reason that these devils are doing this is because it tells you right here, man, they are being consumed by the Spirit of the Lord's mouth. Now, what is that? It's the Spirit of the Lord's mouth. Well, that's this truth of the Bible being taught throughout all the world, right? And you can see this where now they're starting to come out with hate speech regulation. They've listed the this supposed movement under a homegrown terrorist group, right? We're now listed as the Black Hebrew Israelites, even though we're not even, a lot of us aren't even black, right? Even the so-called Negroes in this group aren't even black, they're brown. But again, this is just the dark magic that these devils use to try to dispel and try to hide this truth, right? They defame it, right? And what's happening now that they can't defame it, they all their attempts of trying to buck up against it, make fun of it, or push people like agents like Vocab Malone to make stupid ass videos with crappy ass graphics, and stunts, right? All that shit's backfired. So what are they doing now? Now they're going ahead and skewing the numbers. Basically, they're cooking the books, right? That's a term that people use when they mess with the results to get what they want, right? Now, originally, they wanted to get rid of the dislike button altogether, but there was such a backlash that this is a compromise that YouTube has done, is where they'll still let you click on the download or the dislike button, but you're not going to be able to see it, right? Now, and this is something that you could see going on throughout all these other social media sites, man. They don't want you to dislike messages, right? Because when you do, you get things like this, right? Here's a recent video from Gavin Newsom, right, making an appearance after he supposedly has disappeared, right? And look how many downvotes his ass has got, man. Even I had a downvote for this, man, because it was such a stupid ass interview, man. But look, 6,000 downvotes and only a little bit over 500 votes for up, right? And this guy here is ultimately talking about things like the C-19 mandates, the climate change, things that the general public doesn't like. So this is why they get stuff like this, right? If you look at the recent Sesame Street thing, right? Look, when they came out with the whole, jab thing, look, they got more downvotes than they did upvotes. Or, like, you got Sleepy Joe Biden, talking about the C-19 jabs. And look at this, man. You got 11 upvotes, but 48,000 downvotes, man. You see, this is what these devils really are trying to hide. They're trying to hide the fact that their propaganda isn't working, right? Their narrative is not falling on good ears, I guess you could say, right? You see, because the propaganda doesn't work when you can see that other people aren't buying it either, okay? See, these devils, their propaganda works when you believe that you're alone, right? And look at Fauci, man. All the downvotes versus upvotes, right? Or, you got the social issues, right? Where they're trying to bring these devils out. Look at this, man. Good Morning America. 4,000 upvotes, 70,000 downvotes. Where they brought out this little transvestite boy, right, along with these pedophile men. Or, drag queen story hour, right? Look at this. Double the dislikes than the uplikes, right? So you see, this is the real reason that these they're trying to hide all this stuff, man. They're trying to hide the truth, because again, the propaganda does not work when you see nobody else is buying it. This is Job 18:11. Terrors shall make him afraid on every side, and shall drive him to his feet. And this is talking about the wicked, right? How a prophecy, how the wicked, which is basically these Edomites, these so-called Caucasians, that in the end times that they're going to be vexed on every side, man. Basically, there's always going to be some crazy shit going on in the end times that's pretty much going to make these devils afraid. So much so that they're going to drive them to their feet. Now, what does that mean? Driving them to their feet? That basically means, as you know, Esau may have been chilling, sitting back on his couch and just waiting for all his agenda to, fall into line. But all of a sudden, he's seeing that things aren't working the way he thought they were going to work. So what does he do? He's standing up and he's trying to change things. He's trying to change the rules of the game so that way he could win. But that shit isn't going to work. This is Luke 12:22. I'm sorry, 12:2. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. And you see, these devils are trying to hide the truth. But one thing about the truth is that it always comes out in the end, right? And we are living in the end times, man, where all the truth is now going to be revealed. Yeah, they may be able to hide the amount of dislikes, but they're not going to be able to hide the amount of bad comments unless they turn comments off. But me, just like everybody else, like what I do, when I see a video that has the dislikes and the likes changed, where you can't see them, and comments turned off, that video is it's a bad video, right? You basically don't watch it and shit. Right? I know I don't watch those videos like that. Now, that being said, besides all the other wickedness and all the other things coming out about this devil, people are going to realize the truth, man, about their agendas that they're trying to push. That a lot of them, it's a bunch of astroturf, man. It's false. It's false movements being pushed simply by their media, man. People are simply just going to no longer interact. For example, a good example of this, if you look at the recent Oscar awards or Emmy awards, man, every year that passes, man, the weirder and more corrupt and disgusting these events become, the less viewers that they get. I think this last, like for example, I think it used to be like 40, 50 million views, is what these events used to get. In this last year, it got only like 6 million views versus like the 40, 50 million views that it normally would get back in its early, I think early 2000s, back when all that stuff was okay, before all this wickedness started, coming up. But you see, that's ultimately what's going to happen, man. Is people are going to just stop engaging with this propaganda, right? Or they're just simply going to go to other social medias, Lord will. But ultimately, all this shit's happening because this is the prophecy playing out, right? This is going to help to facilitate the famine of the word, and it's showing that these devils are getting desperate. 2 Corinthians 13:8. For we can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. Right? So these devils here, man, they're trying to stop prophecy. They are trying to stop the Lord's words from coming true, but it doesn't work that way, man. You cannot hide or run from prophecy. Right? It's gonna happen no matter what, right? You've seen it in movies where people always try to change the future, but unknowing to the movie actors, they undoubtedly end up exactly where they did not want to be. Right? Prophecy always wins out. So I just wanted to touch upon this, Akim. I wanted to show you that Esau's fucking hurt and he's getting desperate, so he's taking the dislike counts off now, man. So either way, it doesn't matter because we got this shit in the bag. So but with all that, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Kwadash. Double honors my teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect. Shalom.